A United Nations team to investigate the controversial deportation of Venezuelans from Trinidad and Tobago. And in sport, Sri Lanka in danger of losing a key player for their three-test tour of the Caribbean. I'm Nicole Best, and this is the Caribbean in 10 for Friday, May 4th. I'll be back with the details after the break.
Okay guys, so today's kahari here, we've added about 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. And now we're going to add our curry paste with the onion. Okay guys, so it's been about 2 minutes now, and we're gonna add the shallot and the pepper here.
What did you make of the way that the Watch on Washington handled some of these questions?
It was, again, another complicated moment because on one hand, it was important that a women's march actually show the connections between issues that face women as a group and issues around which women have specific kind of ways of experiencing it, but it's not traditionally seen as a women's issue.
A team from the United Nations will visit Trinidad and Tobago to investigate the circumstances surrounding the controversial repatriation of 82 Venezuelans last month. Acting Attorney General Stuart Young made the disclosure at yesterday's post-cabinet briefing, which came days after a meeting between Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley and the UN Secretary General. Alicia Boucher of TV6 News has the details.
Government's position on the matter unwavering. They volunteered to go home, and there is evidence to support that. Acting Attorney General Stuart Young says Dr. Keith Rowley engaged in a rigorous conversation with the UN Secretary General Antonio Gutierrez on Tuesday, defending TNT's position on the matter and further expressing disapproval of the harsh and uninformed criticism which came from the UN.
We as a sovereign did everything in accordance with our laws, and that we felt aggrieved as a country that a representative of the UN, rather than consult with the government of Trinidad and Tobago and find out exactly what happened before issuing a statement, went ahead and issued a statement that criticized the government of Trinidad and Tobago.
According to Young, there was an acknowledgement by the UN that there are currently 40,000 Venezuelans in this country who have been treated justly. But the UN plans to look deeper into the repatriation exercise.
The Secretary General said what he would do is he would dispatch a team from Geneva, a very high-level team, to come and meet with the government of Trinidad and Tobago to ensure that the right facts are put forward, and that he gave an assurance that Trinidad and Tobago continues to be a leading sovereign state in the UN, especially in this part of the region, and that we have an excellent record with the United Nations.
Still in Trinidad and Tobago, Police Commissioner Stephen Williams has ordered an investigation into a shooting incident on Wednesday evening that left 2 lawmen wounded. The incident occurred at the usually busy Grand Bazaar Mall and was caught on camera. We get more in this report from Anselm Gibbs of TV6 News.
A gunfight with a difference. It's police officer versus police officer. The drama unfolding outside Ruby Tuesdays at Grand Bazaar Shopping Mall. In the video, one man, gun in hand, approaches another man from behind and at close range starts firing. The man wearing the shorts then whips out a gun and returns fire while running away. The man who appears to have started the shooting can then be seen running with a limp past the camera. Some 25 spent shells were reportedly recovered at the scene, and by the time the gunfire subsided, both officers involved, a corporal and a sergeant, were injured. One officer was treated at hospital and discharged, while the other remains warded. Published reports say the shooting may have been the result of a love triangle. Police told the Express newspaper a corporal was at the restaurant with a woman when another officer entered. When the man and woman left the restaurant, they were reportedly confronted by the police sergeant, leading to the shooting. Acting Police Commissioner Stephen Williams has ordered an investigation.
And Guyana's President David Granger says the pirate attacks off the coast of Suriname in the last few days are a setback to the successes achieved in the fight against piracy over the past 3 years. And he says the two countries are working closely together to solve the attacks, which resulted in the deaths of several fishermen. We get the details in this Capital News report.
His government plans to observe formal mourning for the 16 Guyanese who were feared dead following the recent pirate attack in Suriname. The president said his government is deeply grieved. He said his government is in contact with the Surinamese government and police authority.
It's a great massacre, a great tragedy, and we have been very successful over the last 2 years in curbing piracy. So this has come as a great setback, and we extend sympathy to the families of the bereaved. But right now we don't have all the information. We are in touch with the Surinamese government, and we'll be making a public statement hopefully by tomorrow when the Minister of State gives his press briefing.
Meanwhile, Guyana's Public Security Minister Kemal Ramsatan describes the men's deaths as a brutal and gruesome crime. The identities of the 16 men are not yet known by the local authorities, the minister said. 4 fishermen survived the deadly attack, and they have told police here in Guyana and Suriname that they know the suspects.
At least 2 members of a family, including a 9-year-old girl, were killed as heavy rains battered Haiti over the past 48 hours. The Directorate of Civil Protection said the rains on Wednesday and yesterday had affected several areas, causing the deaths of the unidentified 29-year-old woman and the child. They were killed when a wall collapsed on their home in Mont Carmel, a village in the commune of Mirabale. The Hydrometeorological Unit of Haiti is forecasting continued heavy rainfall, especially on the southeast, west and Atibonite regions, and it warned that the departments of Northwest, North, Central, Nipes, South and Grand Anse are likely to be flooded. Do stay with us. Your Midday Sport is next. Sri Lanka is in danger of losing opener Dimuth Karunaratne for their 3-test tour of the Caribbean next month after he fractured a finger in practice on Wednesday. The 30-year-old picked up the injury while practicing in the nets for a limited overs tournament and now faces a race to be fit for the June series. Sri Lanka's cricket board said Dimuth would be assessed by a specialist to determine the injury management and return to play time frame. The left-hander is a key member of the Sri Lanka side and has played 49 tests and scored 3,186 runs at an average of 34. When West Indies toured Sri Lanka 3 years ago, he struck a magnificent 186 in Gale to spur the hosts to an emphatic innings and 6-run victory inside 4 days. Sri Lanka's upcoming tour of the Caribbean will be their 4th test, which is scheduled for Queen's Park Oval in Trinidad and Tobago. That's Caribbean in 10. Join us at 6:30 for Caribbean Newsline. But until then, have yourselves a good afternoon.